Hi. So I'm making an album. I thought I'd do a little short thing here, documenting my process and my progress. So here goes. I have my notes down here to make sure I stay on track. Okay, so how did I get here? How did I get to the point where I'm making an album right now? So for me, when it comes to making an album, it doesn't usually, the idea for it doesn't come to me immediately. I sort of am one of those artists, I guess you could say artists, that makes a bunch of tracks first and then hopes that it fits into an album somehow. I've never been one of those types to make an album based off an idea, a preconceived idea, and try and make songs to fit into the idea. I would do it the other way around, make a bunch of songs and have it fit into something. So I'd say ever since 2020, after my first album release, I pretty much was still making music. Yeah, but mostly I was just once a week or so, maybe some spots of breaks in between. I'd just head into Ableton, bang out a few tracks, get some ideas going, start a demo, and yeah, I would abandon the idea and move on to the next idea, repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Do another idea, work on it for about a week, drop it, do another one. I pretty much came to a halt maybe earlier this year. So we're in December 2022 right now. I came to a halt maybe like summer of 2022. I think I hit a creative block or something where I just couldn't come up with ideas anymore, and for good reason. I already had a bunch of ideas. I totally would just make a bunch of songs and forget about them until I stopped, listened back to a bunch of them. Actually, I even released one of the songs I made last year this summer. It was an ambient track called Abyssal. That's my most recent single. I made that last year, and I found, well, yeah, I really loved the project, so I decided to release it as a single. I still wasn't thinking of an album. I kind of was. I was thinking of an EP, but it wasn't until a little bit later that I actually made a list of all my favorite songs out of, I'd say there were like maybe upwards to like 100 plus songs that I went through. I listened to one by one. It took a few days to come up with a comprehensive list of songs that I liked. And there were multiple lists too. Yeah, let me show you the list actually. When I make an album, I like to stick to some type of narrative theme. Like I mentioned before, I make a bunch of songs and I have it mold into a theme. Something like light, something that like all the songs fit together, kind of. I was going for that. So with my best intention or my best hope is that each of the songs, there's a line that's drawn narratively between them, and you can kind of get the feeling for them. And I will say there were a lot of, I was surprised at how many fit this type of narrative theme that I was going for. Yeah, there were a bunch that didn't fit the theme too, which I'm kind of sad about, but maybe I'll release those another time. So the thing that's different about this project too, there's something distinctly different. I've decided to, well, I didn't decide really. I ended up with a lot of tracks with a lot of vocals on them. I think 2021, I really experimented with doing a lot of vocals, and through a lot of trial and error, I figured out how to like make my vocals sound kind of okay, I think, anyway. I think a lot of the tracks that my vocals are sitting nicely in them now. Before, it was kind of a struggle, and a lot of my earlier music, it's just instrumental, because a lot of the time I would come up with lyrics, but I would later drop them, scrap them, or like put them far in the background. Alright, that's enough talking. I'm gonna show you a little sneak peek, but here is a sneak peek of one of the tracks. I don't want to show too much, and this is still a work in progress. that's just a little sneak peek. Who knows if that's going to stay the same? It's most likely going to change. It's very rudimentary right now. Yeah, so the genre for this album, I'm not sure what it's going to be. I never know really what my genre is, to be honest, anyway. But like, it's a little bit more eclectic this time. I have a lot of, I guess, a lot of poppy sounds. This one's kind of like more electronic, I guess. Maybe like R&B. I don't know. There's a lot of other songs too that are different stylistically. Like there are a couple reggae influenced tracks, some folk influenced tracks. Yeah, it's just it's going to be a whole eclectic album. So yeah, every day for the past 2 months or so, I've kind of just been arranging these songs together, doing little and major tweaks to them. Yeah, just kind of hopping around from each track non-sequentially, just going off like which ones I feel like working on at the time. And I find that's the best way I work. I can never do like straight linear things. I always go back or go forward or skip, hop around everywhere. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'll be done either. Like my projected outlook is probably going to be, since this is 2022 of December, it's probably not going to be until 2023, early 2023. I'd say there's 14 songs or so, and I'd say I have half of them pretty close to like done. There's not going to be a lot of changes to them, but the other half, they're like a slight bit more up in the air. I'd say like 60% done. They just need some light rework, maybe some light re-recording, retouching, the whole lot. But for the most part, the ideas are kind of like set in stone, so to speak, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I got. Maybe there'll be more videos. Maybe not. I don't know. This is kind of just off the cuff, on a whim. But yeah. See ya.